Luke.
Oh, you've got your business tablet.
I've got my business tablet.
Uh-oh, it must mean it's time for the business of games.
The business of games. The business of games out this September that you need to look at these quarterly reports for. Getting a shiny new upgrade for PS5, The Last of Us returns as The Last of Us Part 1. Rebuilt from the ground up in a new engine, including the Left Behind DLC, PlayStation owners will have a third chance to bag this classic. So, it's all shiny and new, but the same old game. Ellie and Joel look more like their counterparts in The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. I mean, I think Naughty Dog make the most visually impressive games that there are. Full stop.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nice to see, Last of Us Part 1 brought up to the modern standard.
Yeah.
I can't I mean, if you haven't played Last of Us Part 1 or Part 2, then this is a perfect jumping on point.
Yeah.
But how many people are there who are interested in playing them at all, but who haven't played them at this point?
It's interesting because the original was in 2013.
That's quite a long time ago now.
The remaster was 2014. So
oh, right. They must have really screwed it up the first time. I mean, I played it before it was remastered. It looks good.
Yeah, well,
but I was wrong.
It's because they've got this habit of bringing out their big games right before the next generation is about to come out.
Yes, that's
right. So the first one came out on PS3, and then they were like, oh no, the PS4's out. We should bring it out for the PS4. Let's do it again quickly. Fortunately, the PS5 plays PS4 games. So if you have a PS5, you can still play The Last of Us Part 2. So that's fine. They already made a pretty perfect game. So like, just play Skyrim, but like a bit more work put into it for the remaster, I think.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It's a great game. So
it is good. If you haven't played The Last of Us, go do it.
This is the way to play it.
Yeah, go play it. Enjoy it. It's
and
really
then
good.
play the graphically inferior Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. This MMORPG Pokemon-like is finally out of early access in Temtem 1.0. Bringing all new features and battle modes, will this multiplayer take on Pocket Monsters go down well now that it's fully out in the wild? Do you remember Temtem?
Yeah, I remember Temtem. I gave Temtem
in the before times.
I gave it a real good shot. I think I sunk a good few hours into Temtem. Again, this was back when it was in early access. It didn't completely grabbed me, but then it's also been a few years since a Pokemon game has completely grabbed me. I think the thing with Temtem is, more than I want to play it, I want it to exist and I totally admire what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because as we've talked about many times on this channel, I think the Pokemon games are not as innovative or good looking as they deserve to be, certainly can afford to be.
Yeah.
I think the more games there are like Temtem that are basically showing, hey, what if we took this exact format but made it look gorgeous, and Temtem does look gorgeous, the better. I think the better that would be for Pokemon in general. So yeah, I'll be interested to go back and see if it's substantially changed since early access. But more than that, I just want it to do well. I want it to be popular, so that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company look at it and go, oh no, we'd better make the next Pokemon game real good.
There's some fun things there's a few gauntlet style challenges and things like that. But,
I remember even the early version was very, very online in a way that Pokemon isn't. You would run around and you would just see other players just running around in the world
and see them and go, what is that? I want one of those.
What kind of Temtem do you have? Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. It was cool. We'll put up a card with some of our more in-depth Temtem coverage. Well, I guess it may all have changed now, but probably is largely similar.
Yeah. Head on over to Disney Dreamlight Valley to free the Disney castle from the forgetting and open up lots of themed lands for you to explore and stories to play through. Customize your wardrobe, your home, and the valley itself as you take a deep dive into Disney and hang out with all your favourite characters. Now, it's like Animal Crossing, but Disney.
A bit like Animal.
Not quite the same, because there's this whole, a bit like with the kind of epic Mickey thing, there's this whole idea of the forgetting. So you have to go and save Disney from being forgotten, because that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
This is basically given to your nostalgia, the game.
Yeah. There's a thing at Disney parks where they have music playing there that's a kind of quite generic Disney parade music, and it's basically a relentlessly upbeat combination of the words magic,
imagination,
dreaming, and imagination.
Dream time,
dream the magic, imagine dreams. Yeah. Da, 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 da. And that's how we dream the magic.
It reminds me a little bit of the Disneyland Adventures, where you kind of like went around and like explored Disneyland itself. But in this, you kind of it's like you can have your own little house there. It's more like if Main Street was an actual place that you lived.
Yeah, I wish they would just make a hyper-realistic Disneyland simulator, because you know that other game, the one where you walk around the park, it's like once you go into the ride, it turns into like a weird mini game.
Yeah, it's
and the
not
parks
the ride.
Don't look quite right.
It's not quite it's not the Minecraft.
Get the Gran Turismo team on a laser scan, pixel to inch accurate. Disney park that I can walk around. I think it's weird that Buzz Lightyear is small.
Yeah, he's a toy. They've scaled him to be the size of a toy.
No, but they normally like scale everything to be roughly the same in that kind of Smash Brothers fashion. So that all of the I just think.
But they're not
weird.
having to punch each other in this one.
Well, then if he's a toy, I think he's. In that case, I think he's too big.
I'm interested to see where this game is going, because it says the game is in constant evolution, so it's sort of like live servicey kind of sounding thing.
Which
occasionally
they'll add
they'll
Bolt
maybe updates or something. And one thing I really you can like change. But like you can change bring Basil. You can change your outfits and stuff, and it's really interesting on the website. It's like, bring out your inner princess, villain, or Disney bounder. Assemble unique outfits to express your Disney style. Which I like the fact that they're acknowledging the idea of Disney bounding. Which, for those of you that don't know, is where you kind of go to Disneyland, but in the style of a character. You can't
only
dress
exists
up
because
as the
Disney
character.
won't let you go dressed as a character.
Because you might confuse the children,
in case some kids come ask you for an
they can't be
autograph.
like, this is a safe person. So it's interesting. They're like, Disney bounding. We recognise that as a thing. In order to play it in September, on 6th September when it comes out, you have to meet certain criteria. So to be one of the first to play the game, well, you have to purchase a Founders Pack edition.
Right. So this is like, it's out in September, thereby legitimately earning its place in this video.
Yeah.
But like probably for most people, it's going to come out a bit later.
A little bit later.
But if you are desperate.
But it will be available to everyone with Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's quite cool.
Yeah, so don't buy the Founders Pack or whatever.
Yeah.
If you've got an Xbox.
If you've got an Xbox, you're fine. Yeah. If you've got a PlayStation or PC,
you can wait for your selfie
Switch,
with Tiny Buzz.
You will have to buy the Founders Pack. Sorry. Yeah. Disney.
I mean, you don't have to. You can always just ignore this game completely. That's another option you've got. Dream the magic. Imagination.
Da, 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 da. Wave as the Disney princess. Hey kids. Oh wait, no. If you're one of the mascotty ones, you have to be like.
That's how we imagine a dream. Magic.
In Steelrising, all one word, you are Aegis, an automaton masterpiece made by Valkenson, an engineer in the service of the Clockwork King. But it is your job to kill the king and end his reign. This alternate history game sees you explore Paris, fighting other clockwork creatures.
I have deja vu. Hasn't this been in one of these Games of the Month lists before, Ellen?
It nearly was. It was nearly in June, so you would have seen the script.
Oh, right.
Like me, but the folks at home won't have seen anything about it beforehand.
Then they delayed it.
Because
we
they
took
delayed
it out the script. Well done us. Well done us.
Yeah, was slightly
well done
stressful.
You. I didn't do any of that.
Steelrising. But it looks cool. Like, it looks sort of like...
Yeah, I'm torn on this because aesthetically it seems really cool. The world seems awesome. It's kind of got like French Revolutionary vibes.
French Revolution
but
vibes.
Also there's like robot dogs and living dolls and such. It doesn't look...
a little bit janky.
Yeah,
be mean.
It hasn't looked...
Doesn't look smooth.
It hasn't looked as polished as perhaps one would hope.
The gameplay that we'll be currently showing is from April, and that was when they were like, it's coming out in June, and then they delayed it. So hopefully it will be a bit smoother than what we're showing now.
Yeah, so don't take what you're seeing totally for granted. It looks like it handles very much like a Dark Souls-alike.
Yes, a little
bit,
yeah.
So you've got that kind of like, you know, enemies hit really hard.
You get ambushed by enemies behind boxes and things like that. They break through and scare the heck out of you. Like that happens in Dark Souls loads. Just that aesthetic around like the kind of Regency, French Revolution-y, you know, the kind of aristocracy. Very fancy.
I'm
but
keen to
also
play
gritty.
it just for like the aesthetic,
Yeah.
just for the vibe.
Yeah, just for the vibes.
Yeah, and
Just
hopefully
purely here for vibes.
Yeah. And hopefully the gameplay follows suit in terms of coolness.
Fingers crossed. You're a squid now, you're a kid now. The third instalment of Nintendo's Paint and Mollusk-themed game is back. With more single-player fun, classic multiplayer team-based paint fights, and an intense egg-collecting co-op mode, fans of the series will feel right at home. We've played some of this.
It's ink, Ellen, not paint.
One
oh
of
my
them is
God.
literally a paint roller, and
Yeah, but
you can
do
use
think-
ink as paint.
They're squids. They're like squirting out themselves or something into a bucket. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Just bodily secretion.
I guess at least, yeah. Let's not think too hard about it. You know what? It's paint.
It's paint.
Yeah, it can be paint. We have played some of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's more of the same, and that's not a complaint from me. Like, Splatoon is a really good, solid series.
The classic Splatoon mode is Turf War, which is this 4v4 like arena battle, where the goal is to get the most of your team's colour ink
Yes.
on the arena, like on the floors and walls.
Play the objective.
Yeah, as possible, and you can kill each other and shoot each other with your ink guns
to prevent each other from making lots of paint work.
Yeah, but the primary goal is to just basically change the colour of the arena as much as possible. Like in terms of a game to jump into and feel like you're being genuinely helpful, like to your team straight away, even with no experience.
Yeah.
Splatoon is super accessible and it's really fun. And like in Splatoon 2, for a Nintendo game where they don't have the greatest reputation for this, the online was really good. I played loads and loads and loads of Splatoon online, just hopping into Turf War after Turf War after Turf War. There are new features, of course, but it doesn't seem to have like significantly reinvented.
No, they've not reinvented the wheel, but the wheel was working fine, and now they've put some new sparkly things on the wheel to make you go, ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. You're a squid now. You're a kid now. Yet another game based in Nordic mythology comes to PlayStation. In Valkyrie Elysium, you'll play Valkyrie, a hero tasked with saving the world from Ragnarok. The latest in the Valkyrie series, this installment takes the form of an action RPG, so be prepared to smash enemies in real time. The first of the Valkyrie games, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, is the original game. Excellent, catchy name. Came out in 1999.
I see.
And there's like a whole series, because I was like, oh, this looks like an interesting new IP. And then there was like, oh no, wait, this has been around for decades, literally.
But not in any meaningful way, I guess.
No, there hasn't been a game out, like a new game of it out for like well over 10 years. So people who are fans of the series will be like, ooh, chomping at the bit to get their hands on this new one.
I feel like it's either going to be the kind of game that is it'll be like 99 on Metacritic.
It's either going to be like amazing or everyone's going to forget it
totally acclaimed
immediately.
Masterpiece, and I'll be like, oh no, I have to play it.
In the trailer, it's like, oh, all I want to do is save the world and keep it as it is. And it's all kind of a little bit like, oh, woe is me. And I was like, is that going to hook people in for long? There seems to be an interesting antagonist in there, which I'm really interested to see. And
a game like this needs a good story, right?
Yeah, and you're sent, or like the Valkyrie is sent on this quest by Odin. So like there's a lot of, like, I'm interested to see like the take on Norse mythology that this series has, because I'd never seen that. So yeah.
Unfortunately, we've already got a game this month that I will be playing purely on vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's room for two.
Yeah. Got into miniatures during lockdown?
No. Oh, sorry. It's voiceover. Keep going.
Maybe you've always wanted to paint them but are worried about the mess? Well, Moonbreaker might be for you. Entering early access at the end of the month, this turn-based miniatures game allows you to customize your team's look. With a world written by Brandon Sanderson, this looks to be a very colourful game in all senses of the word. So this looks cool. This was one of the things revealed in Gamescom's opening night thing.
Very cool concept.
And and it's made by the same people who made Subnautica, and everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's different to Subnautica, isn't it? Isn't it different to Subnautica? It's so different to Subnautica." And I was like,
obviously it's different. Subnautica, you're like underwater, build an underwater house. So,
but it looks really interesting. They're a developer that evidently likes to do different things every single time they start a new IP.
Well, Subnautica's great, so I would be interested in whatever they did next.
Yeah, and it just I really love the whole kind of customization aspect to it. Like, you've got these like miniatures that they have designed, but you can paint them to look however you want and like give them all sorts of cool different, like maybe you kind of have a set of like 10 heroes or 10 things that you can control in a map, and you could maybe like give them team colors or something like that, or you can make them all individual. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's interesting. You were telling me that the miniatures in the trailer had been created using the in-game painting tools that players will eventually have. So that's as a kind of demonstration of what you can achieve.
Exactly, and they're not like, it's not overly complicated. It's just like kind of a few different brush styles, and it seems to be like it paints within the lines for you. So whatever you do looks great. So you just have to focus on vibes rather than getting in the lines.
Brandon Sanderson is an author who is good at creating coherent fantasy worlds. So I'm interested in any sort of any fantasy that he's putting together.
It's very sci-fi. They said like kind of they were inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy and Firefly-esque type sci-fi world. So a little bit of like tongue-in-cheek. I really enjoyed the little figurines. When they do things, they're kind of animated. They're still very stuck and rigid because they're figurines. But like if they shoot the gun, like they kind of kick back and stuff like that, and it's all quite fun. I like the fact that it still keeps that miniatures aesthetic while being fun and interesting to look at on the screen. But I'm not like, it takes a lot for me to go a turn-based battle game, but I was like, looks interesting.
At this turn-based battle game.
Yeah, looks good. And I saw in the comments of one of the trailers that everyone was really excited. They were like, I've always wanted to get into Warhammer, but it's so expensive. So this is a hopefully cheaper way for you to get into miniatures painting if you're really into it. Because and you need one of those like cool kits, one of those cool trunks with all the paints in it and everything. And it's just like that's an investment. And then this, you can just do it on your computer.
Just do it on your computer.
No paint fumes. It's great.
They should have a thing in the game where you can like 3D print stuff that you've made. Like kind of order it to be delivered to your house. Like I made this, now 3D printed.
Yes, please send it to me. Oh yes, do that.
That's where the real money is. Look at the Warhammer folks rolling in their miniatures money.
So those are just some of the games coming our way in September this month.
Good old month.
Yeah, which one are you most excited for, Luke?
Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's very high up for me, along with the Disney Valley. I'm just so intrigued.
Yeah, okay.
I'm really intrigued.
It's just journalistic curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. I just really want to go to Disney.
You and your weirdly small Buzz Lightyear can have a nice time. Your customisable house.
Yeah.
Waiting for the Bolt DLC. That will
never
never come.
Oh wait, that's on the go.
That's never coming. Yeah.
Well, what ones are you most excited for? Are there any that we haven't mentioned that you are very excited for? Let us know in the comments down below. Give us a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. We do this video every month, as well as a whole bunch of other interesting videos that you will hopefully enjoy. But in the meantime, thanks for joining, Luke.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Ellen, for putting together that great list of September games.
That's good. That's all fine and good. I just got to look at a bunch of trailers and have a lovely time. But we will see you next time.
Bye.